Well, in this series of interviews with the top talent from the private wealth sector, we're interviewing many of our Next Gen community, and delighted today to be speaking to Elena Camilla Myers. Welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So great to be able to sit down and have a chat with you today. You're actually been really involved in our Next Gen community, and for this year are going to be one of the co-chairs of the committee.
Yes.
So it's great to have you on board. But tell us a little bit about what you like about the PCD Next Gen events and what you get out of it.
Yeah, I think for me, PCD was one of the first networking events that I joined when I first started my role at Prism. And it was the friendliest communities that I could step into. Everyone was just so warm, so welcoming, and it just felt more like finding friends in the space. It's been such a pleasure to just meet so many people across the space and share stories, collaborate with each other on different projects. And so, yeah, it's been very exciting getting to be as a co-chair on the committee.
And there's lots that can be done, isn't there? I mean, I think there's a lot, my sense of it is there's a lot of interest and energy in the people who come along, and hopefully we'll be able to create some more value going forward.
Definitely, definitely. I think the next gen part is so important because it's so many people that are either entering the beginning of their careers or have had a couple of years of experience, and that collaboration of just sharing what's trending and what are the challenges that are coming up in such a complex landscape is really exciting, and especially people who have such innovative ideas of ways to find solutions for clients. It's a really exciting space to be a part of.
So tell us about your role then at Prism. What do Prism do and where do you fit in?
Yeah, so Prism is Prism The Gift Fund. We're a UK registered charity. Our entire mission is to maximize the flow of funds into the charitable sector, and we are a donor-advised fund provider, which essentially means that we're providing a structure that's an alternative to a private foundation for individuals, families, groups, and corporates that are looking to maximize their impact and do it in a very cost, time, and tax-efficient way. And we also have our collective funds, we're the only providers in the UK that offer this service, which allows fundraisers to raise funds for a specific cause that they're passionate about. And we provide all of the infrastructure, the plumbing, and all of the administrative oversight and compliance. So we're trying to take away the hassle from philanthropy and find the joy in giving. Yeah.
And do you enjoy working in the philanthropic sector, raising money for good causes, helping the wealth sector, I guess, pursue those objectives?
I do, yes. My favorite moments are those light bulb moments, those moments when you can talk to advisors and you can see the realization that they found a solution to some of their clients' philanthropic objectives. And on the client side as well, it's people who have a lot of capital to distribute and have some fantastic objectives, and just that relief that they see when they can focus on their philanthropy and not on the admin side of things or the due diligence or compliance. That's really rewarding. So it's been a pleasure.
And is a big part of what you do education? Is there still advisors don't fully know all the solutions in the philanthropic space, or need what's your balance of time spent doing when you're engaging with professional intermediaries?
Yeah, so I'm the business development executive at Prism, and a lot of my role is just that, on education and capacity building and raising awareness around philanthropy and the different structures that are available so that clients can, again, maximize their impact, but do it in a way that's tax efficient and sustainable. So there is a lot of work that still needs to be done in raising that awareness around philanthropy and broader wealth planning conversations. And it's a lot of lunch and learns, a lot of one-to-one meetings, and just being a part of the private wealth space and trying to encourage a new way of thinking, a values-led driven conversation around wealth, which is really exciting.
And so you might interact with private banks and wealth managers, tax advisors, lawyers. What contacts do you tend to find, do you kind of gravitate towards and are most useful?
Exactly. So private client lawyers, tax advisors, investment managers, financial planners, anyone that's working in that high net worth and ultra high net worth space is where Prism sits and where I'm having a lot of those conversations, which is why the PCD network has been amazing, because it is everyone who is working across that space is looking to collaborate on different ways of finding solutions for their clients.
And there's a lot of research out there that says high net worth clients do want to get involved in philanthropy and give more, but advisors have been reticent to table how they can do it, or the clients feel like there could be more to be done and they want to talk about it.
Yes.
So are you finding that, it's bringing the community together to encourage them to have the confidence to have the conversations is a big part of it?
Absolutely. I think It's very interesting because from a cultural perspective, the UK sometimes has issues talking about wealth and money and the transparency around it. And there are more conversations that I'm having where those conversations are being driven by donors and by clients with their advisors and saying, I'm getting to a point where I'm looking at succession planning or legacy, or I'm about to sell a business. And that is a perfect moment for clients to say, and I'm thinking about philanthropy. And at the same time, advisors have a very specific role to play in getting their clients to think about that planning in a much more holistic and comprehensive way. So it's a conversation that I think traditionally has been led by clients, but we are starting to see an uptick in intermediaries, advisors across the space, bringing that conversation. And I think as well, advisors enjoy it. I think they like to talk to their clients about their family plans and what their values are and how they want their legacy to look like when they're not here. And so it's a really rewarding part of the job.
There's more philanthropy tabled on conferences, isn't there, I think, these days? I think it's something that professional forums are engaging on. STEP has a philanthropy chapter now that really is quite active. So it's just trying to fill in those gaps, I guess, for advisors, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. I think, obviously, from our perspective, we would love philanthropy to be one of the main topics of conversation at any wealth conference. And that is slowly starting to change. Your Leeds conference last year was really an interesting point because at the end of the conference, an entire panel was asked, and where does philanthropy sit in the conversation? And that was probably the first time that I've heard philanthropy spoken about and asked directly. And that was really exciting to see. So we hope that more conferences on a national level will start having those conversations and questioning their panelists about it. But it's a slow burn, and people need to get comfortable with the idea. And that's a lot of my role as well, is making sure people do feel comfortable and that they have someone that they can trust with these conversations and with their clients as well. So
you're based here in London, but you, as you mentioned, going up to Leeds for our event recently, or Manchester. Where do you travel in the UK and engage with professional advisors?
All over. All over. So we are headquartered in London. We have clients that are based all over the UK and all over the world. But we do a lot of work in Manchester and Leeds, a little farther up north as well. And that decision was a proactive decision from our end. We wanted to see wealth untapped outside of London because sometimes, as I'm sure you know, it can be quite a closed bubble as to our thinking around where most of the capital is. And we realized it's really important to make sure we're having those conversations outside of that. And so, yes, we say that we're a rolling office on wheels, just traveling up and down the country as much as possible.
And are you finding that the financial advisors and wealth managers who are using DAFs are growing in confidence that actually if they table philanthropy, it doesn't lead to their assets under management kind of being depleted, that they're able to help work with their clients, fulfill their goals, but also to manage assets and grow their business? Are you seeing wealth managers having a positive impact on engaging on these topics?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's, again, part of that light bulb moment where a lot of advisors see it as not funds being taken away from their portfolio or their assets under management, but funds that can actually be added to it. So we've seen families that have all of their private wealth sitting with an investment manager, and they've just gone through a liquidity event, and the investment manager has that conversation where they actually realize, we can hold your private wealth and we can hold your philanthropic wealth all under the same umbrella. And so there is, again, that comfortability around what is a DAF and how does it work and how do the advisors play a part in those conversations with their clients.
Great. And we're halfway through the year now. What's here for you in the second half of the year? Have you got anything interesting that you're working on or looking forward to in the second half?
More funds into the charitable sector. That is always the goal. So definitely trying to drive that more in London and across the UK. We launched our dual qualified structure last year where a lot of US, UK taxpayers found that a very neat solution for any funds that they wanted to get the tax relief in both jurisdictions. They could gift into our structure and receive the tax relief from the US and from the UK. Obviously, with everything that's happened in the past few years in the world, that is only going to become increasingly more important. And so I'm very excited to see an influx of Americans coming in and bringing that culture around philanthropy to the UK and that entrepreneurial spirit, and for us to have the structure to facilitate that. So again, more funds into the sector and just from a varied source of places.
Fantastic. Well, for those who are attending our November lunch, if you were along, I encourage people to come and say hello to you. But thanks for talking to me today, and look forward to sharing this interview.
Thank you so much, David. Really appreciate it.